Now see, when I get ready to paint the garage, obviously I'm going to have to do some patching and some other stuff and all that. But then once I cut the new paint into here, it's going to be easy for me to cut the wall paint into the edge of the door casing rather than cutting the casing into the new wall paint. Does that make sense? That's why I did that edge. And that's why I didn't really care if I got just a little bit of paint on the wall. That's fine, okay? Because I'm going to be painting this later, okay? Even if I was going to be painting, that's just how I do it every single time. But I would paint all the walls first. First, obviously the ceiling, then I would paint the walls. I wouldn't do any cut in until the last, okay? I paint the ceiling, don't cut it in yet. Then do the walls, don't cut it in yet. And get the wall roller this close. Boom, 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 boom. And when I get done with that, then I would go back and paint all the door frames, the casings. And it would look just like this with the new paint stopping right there, okay? All the way around, boom, boom, boom. And then I would go back and cut in the walls to the casing. And baseboards I would do, I would cut in, I would do the wall and run it down as low to the baseboard as I could. Then I would do all the baseboard with this same little paintbrush, and I would do the cut in around the top of that top trim of the base, the same way that I just did out here, getting a little bit of white paint on the wall. And then I would go back and do one cut in from the wall down to the top of the base. And that's just how I do it. That's how I do all of my cut in. Doesn't that look nice? The cut in around there, around the top edge of the baseboard, around the doors. How nice that is. That's because I did this last and cut it in to the casing. See, now obviously when I did this, I had to do the wall, and I even got a little paintbrush in there to get that wall, believe it or not. And I did that before I did the base, or before I did the casing. See how tiny that strip is? That's how you do that. You do the wall first. Then if you get some of the finished paint of the wall on your casing, that's okay, because then you can cut your casing in, being careful not to get your brush over here. If you hit it once or twice, then you'll have to touch that up with your wall paint. See, so I mean, it's just a little bit of thinking about your projects. Okay, what should I do first, second, third, fourth? Okay, so now I got my whole door frame has been painted. Doesn't that look good? I didn't use the roller like I thought I might. I used that 2-inch for this whole thing. Even on the face of this thing's drying. When it dries, it dries like streaks, so don't look at it too close as it's drying. Just sit there and wait for it to dry. This thing will be dry to the touch probably in a half hour. That's just how semi-gloss works. But if it was in the middle of winter, this stuff could take hours to skin up, you know. But it's 90 degrees outside, and this thing will dry to the touch probably half hour. I'm guessing, something like that. Okay. All right. Oh, look at that! I just hit that. And with the paper. Shoot, dabbing at it. So I'm actually lucky because this was the last little bit I did. And I'm gonna fix that right now. Go up from the bottom. Okay, fixed. I'm gonna have to pull this craft paper out of here so it doesn't hit on the edges anymore. And I think I got one little spot right right over there. Now, because that's at the bottom, I don't have to go up any further. Had that been in the middle of a door jamb, then you've got to decide. See, I fixed a little spot there. But if you get a little run somewhere else, or you look at it close and you see one little spot in the middle, then you've got to decide. If you got a little spot here, you've got to decide, okay, how am I going to fix that? And if this is tacking up, I would not recommend trying to blend this in, you know, just right here. I would hit that, and then I'd get a little bit more paint, and I would do this whole edge, this whole jamb from edge to edge, and I would do from top to bottom so that you wouldn't see that, especially if it's at eye level. You know, I mean, you just have to decide how good of a project do you want, and get her done. You want to touch it up later and have somebody see it, or you see it and you know you could have done a better job than that. Okay, whatever. The good thing is you have complete control over what you're doing with your painting now. Okay? All right. So I am done with this door. I am done with this door jamb. And look, I didn't get any paint inside, down at the bottom, any of that. I have to let that dry before I pull up that masking tape. I don't want to pull the masking tape up when anything's wet because it could drag up on there, or I could start getting it all on my hands and all that kind of stuff. I'll pull this up tonight, or after it's dry, okay? And so I'm looking, let's look at my watch here. It's it's 1:08. See? I got done painting that. That took me about an hour and a half painting that whole thing. And I could have done it a little bit quicker without making a video, but maybe at least an hour a door frame, or a little bit more, hour and a half per door frame. How many door frames you got? And that's how long it's going to take you to get all that done. Okay? See this here? Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? I mean, I could almost leave it at one coat and be done with it. Well, I put 2 coats in the other side, and I can see little sanding marks from before and stuff. And when I lightly sand this now and put another coat on, I'm not going to see any of that stuff either, because I did some extra sanding and extra work on here because it's a door that we use all the time from the garage into the condo. So that's why I thought I'm going to put 2 coats on this thing. Okay, so I'm ready to do that. I'm not going to show you any of that. You know how to do that now, right? Yes, you do. Okay. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. This is tiring me out, but I know one more coat and I'll be done with the painting. And I'm using my same little 4-inch mini roller that I got rolled up in this plastic, and it's going to be fine for that. Okay? And before I rinse out that brush over there, guess what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to take that and I'm going to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it up in plastic like I showed you before, to keep the bristles wet, so that I can get going on this painting. I can do that, or I can rinse that brush out now. You know, you be the judge on how you want to do things. Okay? All right. See you next time. One last thing. I got some more paint on the concrete. See? Right there and right there. And that's because when I was rolling out of this, I had that, and then just a 1/4-inch nap roller. As I'm going back and forth, it would spit up here and back in here. I should have had that about like that, and I wouldn't have had to deal with it, right? So I'm going to just take my sandpaper, lightly sand on that, and be done with that. It seems to come up really easy that way. Okay, there's a tip for you. My loss is your gain. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. I guess it's time to do some more painting.